Hey guys, welcome to Pajama Let's Play. I'm Michelle, host of Pajama Let's Play, where we talk all things Kingdom Hearts. Today I'm going to talk about Minnie and Mickey and how Minnie is the true king of Disneytown and Disney Castle. But before we get into that, make sure to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can check out my Patreon or leave a tip via PayPal. All those things are in the description box down below. As always, there will be spoilers, so heads up there. We all know that Mickey is referred to throughout the series as the King of Disney, or at least Disneytown and Disney Castle, the worlds we saw in Birth by Sleep and Kingdom Hearts 2. However, I've noticed that it's Minnie that fills the role, not Mickey. This video is not meant to be a dig at Mickey, but rather to explore Minnie's role further. Mickey does an excellent job at caring for the realms. He just tends to put aside the needs of his people, which I assume he swore to protect. So let's set a foundation and discuss what exactly a king's role is. First and foremost, he cares for and protects the people. If there is any sort of crisis, food shortages, increased poverty, widespread illness, war, and other issues that can affect a large swath of the population, it's brought to the leader of the land to deal with. The king, or other leader, is responsible for making and enforcing laws and enacting punishments for those who break them. He's the commander-in-chief during war, leading his soldiers into battle. The king, or other ruler, must ensure that his people are happy and well-fed, otherwise they'll rise up and choose a new leader, typically through violence. The king, or other ruler, is also responsible for ensuring the economy is thriving and benefiting the entire kingdom, making sure his people are not impoverished, because starvation also leads to violent revolution. Often, the king is also responsible for the spiritual needs of his people. Most monarchs do not separate church and state, so the king would need to appoint a spiritual leader, often assigning him or herself into that role. I don't know about you, but I see Minnie filling most, if not all of those roles more than Mickey does. So let's break these duties down one by one. The king or other ruler cares for and protects his people. Of course Mickey cares for his people and protects them in his own way. The problem is that he doesn't spend a lot of time in his kingdom. My understanding is he is the king of only Disneytown and Disney Castle, not all of Kingdom Hearts. He is far more concerned with being part of the action with Riku than he is being at home and ensuring his dominion is safe. Every time we go to Disneytown or Disney Castle, it's Minnie that we interact with. In fact, in Kingdom Hearts 1, when he decides to leave to deal with the Heartless and whatnot in other worlds, he doesn't even tell anyone. He just leaves a note for Donald and Goofy with a PS about Minnie. He seemingly doesn't even tell Minnie he was leaving. That tells me this is a pattern of behavior that has become the norm. Minnie might not mind it, but it does mean that she must stay behind to care for the kingdom. The king or other ruler handles widespread crises. This one does actually apply to both Minnie and Mickey. Mickey deals with the crises that affect all the worlds, like the increased Heartless, Xehanort shenanigans, finding Aqua, etc. Minnie, however, deals with the crises at home. In Kingdom Hearts 2, we go to Disney Castle and aid Minnie in fending off the Heartless to get to the Cornerstone of Light. Since Mickey was absent, he was not able to deal with it, leaving his people and kingdom vulnerable. Minnie, thankfully, is very capable in her own right. But I imagine it's frustrating for the citizens of Disney Castle to have their world invaded by Heartless and the Cornerstone of Light becoming corrupted and their king is nowhere to be found. With Sora's help, Minnie was able to eliminate the Heartless and fix the Cornerstone of Light, restoring peace and stability to the kingdom. The king or other ruler makes and enforces laws. For this one, I'm not sure who to credit. I imagine Mickey wrote the laws and associated punishments, but in Birth by Sleep, it's Minnie that was present for the Dream Festival, while Pete is attempting to cheat his way to winning the Million Dreams Award. She shows him grace and compassion, but his snarky attitude pushed her buttons enough that she imprisons him. I don't recall any scenes in the series where Mickey is actually enforcing any laws for his kingdom. He's far more concerned with all the worlds as a whole. Don't get me wrong, that's very noble, and I believe a good ruler would be actively involved in such a major crisis, but he really wasn't there for the citizens of his actual kingdom. The king, or other ruler, is the commander-in-chief in times of war. Neither Minnie nor Mickey are afraid to fight for the people, but as stated before, it's Minnie that was there for the Heartless invasion in Kingdom Hearts 2, and the Unversed in Birth by Sleep. Also, when Mickey does go to fight, he prefers to do so alone. In Kingdom Hearts 2, he decides to fight the endless swarm of Heartless and Hollow Bastion alone. While he is obviously protecting his friends, kings lead armies and use strategies that focus more on success than individual glory or sacrifice. In Kingdom Hearts 3, he joins the war, but he certainly doesn't lead the Guardians of Light. In that case, it was really Sora and Yen Sid who made the battle plans and led the others into battle. Minnie, however, accepted Sora's help in Kingdom Hearts 2 and led him through the throne room and towards the Cornerstone of Light. She did not fight alone because the ruler must survive to care for the kingdom. Mickey doesn't seem to think about it that way and would rather risk his own life than accept help. Granted, he does accept help, but mostly because his friends are determined to help him and often do so against his will. The king, or other ruler, ensures the well-being of his people. This one also makes me think of the Dream Festival in Birth by Sleep. The whole point of the festival is to encourage bonding and increase morale of the people. Everyone votes for who they feel deserves the Million Dreams Award, and they all appreciate the games available. We got to see Minnie fostering friendships and maintaining balance amongst the people, ensuring they will care for one another as family. Mickey's idea of caring for the citizens seems to be by focusing on the large issues of the Heartless and the Keyblade War, which of course is important, but he doesn't seem to have any idea how his citizens are faring back home. He instead trusts Minnie to handle that. I love that they have this type of partnership, but it does seem like Minnie cares more for the kingdom, while Mickey cares more for the entire realm. The king, or other ruler, is responsible for maintaining a thriving economy. There isn't much of an economy in the series, so I'm just going to give both of them credit for this one. The people of Disneytown and Disney Castle seem to be happy and thriving, which is basically impossible without a strong economy. We don't see anyone struggling to feed their families or without a home, so I assume their economy is fine and probably strong enough that there's no concern about it. And finally, the king or other ruler is responsible for the spiritual needs of his people. This one I'll give to Mickey. In the series, there isn't an established religion, but there is certainly plenty of spirituality. They don't worship Kingdom Hearts per se, but it is clearly an entity above all others and everyone cares for it deeply. Mickey sets out to learn how to use the Keyblade and earns the title of Master, I assume, through his studies with Yen Sid. And when Kingdom Hearts is in danger, he's quick to pick up the Keyblade and do whatever is necessary to protect and honor it. He's also a good representation for Kingdom Hearts by sharing love and experience, much in the way I associate people with honoring the higher powers they believe in through their own life choices. Some people show their devotion by spreading their religion. Some go to war for their God. Some show the love of their God by spreading his love. And others are completely atheist and do not follow any form of spirituality. Regardless of where any of the characters stand in their beliefs, Mickey ensures their hearts are cared for and does what he feels is right based on his sense of morality, which is often a product of spiritual beliefs. Minnie is equally just and pure, and is also a good expression for Kingdom Hearts. But Mickey is the one who seeks to honor and care for it, ensuring its warmth and light will reach his people. Again, this is not meant to say Mickey is a subpar king or character in any way, but while he's off having his adventures, he entrusts Minnie with all of the responsibilities of running a kingdom. His intentions are noble, but I feel like he doesn't want to be king, but rather wants the glory of being a guardian of light. I think it's subconscious, but he's far more concerned with his individual efforts until Riku teams up with him. Then he cares mostly about their efforts together. Either way, he barely spends any time at home caring for the citizens of his kingdom, leaving Minnie to be the true king of Disneytown and Disney Castle. Other than Coded, are there any games where he actually returns home for an extended amount of time? From what I can tell, he only returns home when he's finished with a mission and is waiting for the next one. So what do you think? Is Minnie the true king of Disneytown and Disney Castle? Is Mickey doing more for the kingdom than I'm giving him credit for? Are these two actually splitting the role in a balanced way? Tell me all about your thoughts in the comments down below. Also, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and ring the bell. You can check out my Patreon or leave a tip via PayPal. All those things are in the description box down below. Until next time.